Hello my friends, and welcome to another edition of A Parson's Progress. I'm on my covered veranda and I said I'd have a rest day today. Well, that didn't happen. Tom the Digger Man's hard at it still, but we'll talk about that perhaps later. But have a look what we've been doing on the verandas and the deck. Well, the first thing that was done was to found this in the cottage. This, I think it was a bookcase or something or other, some covered area. You'll remember perhaps from earlier videos me doing unboxings and things on here. Well, we've now repurposed this just to put some accessible bits of kit. Those are those brushes I was telling you about that I like, my Japanese brushes, and they come in very useful. So anyway, yes, our board looks, there's a jaunty angle, can't have that. Anyway, that's my shower bucket, and this is the pump that goes into it. That's the shower and loo. But anyway, coming down past the greenhouse and the vintage, we have achieved something glorious today. Look at this. Excuse the racket in the background. We've repurposed the Belfast sink, a very shallow one, in order to preserve some wildlife, which my helpmeet will go and get now. We've even created a sort of underwater apartment. And there he is in all his glory. God love him. And there he goes. There goes the frog. Let's see if we can see where he is. It's great, isn't it? My little Zen gardens is wonderful, but who knows? We probably won't be able to see it over there. When he comes out, I'll see if I can get some more footage. Forgive my puffing and panting. I'm making my way up the property, up the mountain, because you see we had the sheep. They've been the culprits. They weren't pigeons at all. But my clerk of works is putting it back into it. The old entrance to the property that I used to practically have to abseil down when I was living in a tent here is where I think the sheep are coming in. So we're taking remedial steps to protect our vegetation.
That'll do it.
There's already some bits of fence up here, so this should keep them out. We just thought we'd put that little bar on the bottom because they will try to burrow underneath. And there's the old gate, rather nice wrought iron one, but it's chained to that stake, so I'll get my bolt cutters and remove that, and I think I'll use that at the other side of the property to keep the sheep out that end.
More sheep defences.
You can also see from this vantage point some of the work we've done today, which was principally rationalising this bit in front of the house, which looked like the Somme this time yesterday. Just mud and tracks and grooves and everything. Whereas now all the chippings have gone down. And again, you see the front of the house, it was just full of detritus, wasn't it? And that's the bit of the house that came down during the storm. And that was the tree that was rocking that corner of the house. That's all got to be sorted out. The whole of this front will have to be underpinned, particularly where the trees are. I suspect the foundations are pretty good actually, but if you're going to go to all this work renovating, you really want to do the job properly. I mean, look at the size of the stump on this thing. Huge stump. And I don't know how high the tree was, but it just went up for miles. So anyway, that's been today's job, and a bit more work behind the house. But it's looking certainly a lot more tidier. It looked quite awful. Still got to do all the bark shippings down here. We'll probably get some gravel on there eventually. Some self-locking gravel and those sort of rubberized mat things. And both gable ends were completely full of logs and full of mud, and so they've been cleared so that hopefully we can get our very friendly chainsaw man behind the house to work his way from this end all the way through to the other. Oh, hello and good evening. I hope you enjoyed looking at that footage as much as I enjoyed taking it. I'm afraid I lied to you on yesterday's video, my friends. I announced that today will be a day of quietude, solitude, refreshment, rest, and recuperation. I think I mean recuperation. You find me at the end of a day of heavy industry and labour. I forgot my thingy. I need a twig or something. I might get away with it. Maybe I won't get away with it. I'll see if I can pull it out with my finger. I always forget something. I've got a twig that I could use as a tamper, but it's not very good for just... Oh, I should be all right. I think that's most of it's out. I'm going to put in my pipe, my Eric Nording, which is my favourite pipe. I've made a little concoction up. I'm using some of Gauss Perfection, into which I have sprinkled some Danska Black, I think it's called, or something like that, which I bought when I got that haul from Germany. I thought, oh, this will be nice. It'll be a nice mild smoking experience, Cavendish based, but I think it's Burley in Virginia, and it's dark fired, and it's got an extraordinary sort of taste, but it kind of works when you drop it into a bit of perfection, so that's what I'm doing, principally as a way in which to use it up. And it kind of works, this method, but on its own, I find it a bit rough. Anyway, you will have seen from I bought a night cam, although it works during the day, to see who was eating my lettuce. They've sort of left the lettuce alone. They're certainly eating the mange too. You'll see a sheep yanking a bit out in that footage that I showed you. And it was with, obviously, an older one and a younger one. I'm not sure whether they come in at the front or they came in at the back, but we've plugged both of those holes today. And I'd forgotten all about that old wrought iron gate, and that looks rather magnificent now at the front. I'll get a couple of farm hinges which to hang it on, which will be good. It'll give us a sort of a pedestrian entrance as well as a sort of vehicular entrance. Well, after yesterday's grand speech about not going to do anything today, 'cause I was a bit worn out yesterday, and all this going off to town as well and coming back and doing stuff, and I thought, oh, do you know, I'm ready for a day of rest. But Tom, the digger man, has got a problem with his trailer, so he'd left the digger to pick up at some point when the trailer was fixed. And then I got to thinking, there's that saying, isn't there? Make hay while the sun shines. And I thought, well, we've had this glorious weather and we can't guarantee it for much longer. And I think we might go into a bit of a change next week. I thought, well, the digger's here already. And so I asked Tom to do another half day. And I'm glad I did, really, because although we'd clear the tracks, they were all a bit beveled and a bit, you know, and it was all very muddy looking, and well, it certainly would be once it gets some rain on. So I just asked him to rationalise, flatten the tracks that were dug out. And we've got mountains of chippings, as you'll have seen on previous videos, so that could then be deployed onto those tracks, which is grand, frankly. Smartens the whole of the place up. The other part of today's work was to clear the whole of the frontage. I mean, a few days ago, the whole of the frontage was taken up with all sorts of garbage. If you look at back videos and look at the front of the house, all sorts of nonsense, logs and detritus and bits of old furniture and old carpets. And so that is all cleared now. It's just magnificent. And once we get Paul, hopefully, the chainsaw man round, who watches the channel, I hope you appreciate being mentioned, Paul. Hopefully he can make some sort of impact at the back, so you should be able to just walk around the whole of the property, which you used to be able to before we started chopping all the trees down. You could just walk all the way around. There's a nice big gully at the back. So yeah, and we did all sorts today. I mean, and then there was that little we found in all the undergrowth, found a Belfast sink, so we've deployed that as a refuge for a frog we found. And we made a little sort of rock garden for it, because we've got so much stone here as well. And made a little apartment in there, so he can go, he's got a little ledge he can hide under, another one he can sit on, and we're going to get a little pump to sort of keep that oxidated, or whatever the word is, oxygenated. And being water, of course, it'll attract insects, and the frogs can eat the insects. And I've set the cam up. The cam that managed to catch the sheep in action. It does work at night. It's got infrared and all that. So I've strapped it to a tree, looking down on the pool, the little pool we created. And I'll be interested to see what happens at night, or during the day, really. What birds come to have a drink, and what animals might sneak up and have a little look in. Well, I don't know whether frogs are active at night, are they? What else did we do? Oh, I set up a drone as well. I've acquired very cheaply from China. It appears to work, although I crashed it before I got any good footage. I need to work out how to control the blessed thing. But I thought it'd be nice to do a bit of aerial photography once I've worked out how the hell the thing worked. So I've got a nice little drone. And we've got me night cam going now. What else have we done today? There's all sort. You do so much in a day. You can't. Oh, and all that business you saw before with the building of the shelves and making sense of that veranda area, making it more useful and practical. I've got a nice redeployed bookcase now where all my shoes go in, hiking boots and bits and bobs at the front of the caravan. The squirrels were quite funny today. I didn't feed them like I normally do. I normally like to get a bit of seed down for them. And they actually started practically knocking on the door saying, "Where's breakfast?" They were making a right rumpus. They were annoyed that there was no seed. I replenished my fat balls, and I've ordered some more. You've got a wonderful woodpecker that comes, and a nuthatch, and we have had a tree creeper on that. Principally, we only get tits, though. Of course, the dunnocks like to feed on the ground, as robins do, and blackbirds, etc. I rather thought in a place like this, in the middle of nowhere, we'd be getting all sorts of exotic migratory birds, but no, not yet, if at all. But anyway, so it's been a good day. Despite everything I said about relaxing yesterday, I mean, it really is finished now. And I suppose that's right, fitting and proper, because it's a Friday night. It's the beginning of the weekend, my friends. And it feels like the end of a solid working week. So really will be pottering from now on. There won't be any heavy work. I've still got to put some stakes in up the top there and get some hurdling up. That might happen over the weekend. I'll see how I'm minded. I had some lovely comments. Oh, I need to give a shout out. It was a few days back now. Kirk from Kansas bought me some more coffees. Thanks, Kirk. Although this time he just said someone, but it said underneath from Kansas. I'm sure it's Kirk. And what else? Oh, this is quite fun. Fiona will enjoy this. I know she likes to watch. She said, what you need is some Bishop's snortweed. So I've bought some Bishop's snortweed. And she was saying that the Native Americans used to snort it. Bishop's snortweed. So I'm looking forward to that. I've ordered some. Whether I snort it or not is entirely another matter. But I'm looking forward to getting that. In fact, I ordered loads today. It's just reminded me. Because, gardening is like a gateway drug. That Bishop snortweed was a gateway drug. Because I got on the site to buy my snortweed. And then I thought, well, why should... And they were having... Because it's about, the back end of the season to plant out fruit trees. So I bought a plum tree, a damson tree, which is sort of a plum. I bought an apple tree, 2 apple trees, and maybe 2 plum trees. What else? Because they were only $2.99 and quite tall. Oh, and then I bought a load of pots to put them in. I thought I'd get them into pots, because I'm not quite sure where I want to put them yet. So I bought a load of big pots from the same outlet. Oh, and some 40-litre bags of compost. A couple of those. So there's been a bit of that going on today too. So it's grand, isn't it? Life is grand if you don't weaken. I was bloody weak yesterday. But I've been feeling a bit chipper today. I did take a painkiller last night. And the combination of that and being tired meant that I got a better sleep last night, so I was more energised today. I was in the high energy quotient. But I have noticed a side effect. I'm rather out of sorts. It's quite funny, actually. I've noticed it twice now. I've been doing a controlled experiment. I've only taken those painkillers twice. And in the mornings, I'm tetchy. Or easily triggered, I should say, rather than tetchy. I'm easily exercised. Which is an odd sort of side effect. But anyway, I won't take any tonight. Or probably next week. But I wanted to do a controlled experiment. I shall probably take another one back end of next week and just see again if it leaves me feeling a little bit on the tetchy side. It certainly guarantees a painless sleep, so you're not waking up so much. Because every position one gets into becomes unbelievably... well, some positions you just can't get into because it's just there's too much pressure on some joint or other. And I'm not a back sleeper, but I'm having to learn to sleep on my back. That's the path of least resistance. And you only get a mild throbbing from one's hip. So you sort of turn over a little bit to release even more pressure, as it were. I've cut down on my carbs. I've been keto before, if you've seen any of my old videos. I haven't gone quite full keto, but I've binned the carbs, really, more or less. I know they're in honey and other things, but I'm not too minded about that. Basically, I've just cut out spuds, I suppose, really. And I don't eat spaghetti and pasta and stuff. So it's going in the right direction. So I'm feeling rather pleased with myself today. Well, I'm really pleased with Lisa. She's the mastermind behind all of this, really, you know. And she does the mountain share of the work. I just talk about it and smoke my pipe, which suits me. I like to think I'm more of the poet priest than a hands-on labourer. I am more the mystic, the meditator, the mindful one. Bone idle, basically. But that's not quite true. I do like to help out occasionally. But one thing you do notice as you get older, you certainly don't have the energy levels, do you? That you, or you think you do mentally, and also you just don't have the physical ability that one used to have. But I think that's because I'm battling various ailments. But I think they're all overcomable. But I'm going to enjoy tonight, definitely, because there's nothing like having had a good week's work and then settling down on a Friday night for a bit of nosh and a pipe. Oh, I'm drinking... thank you for asking. I'm drinking white Rioja tonight. I'm very fond of white Rioja. I mean, if you were told it was a Chablis, you'd believe it. If you did a blind test and say, shut your eyes, taste this, it's the most expensive Chablis money can buy, they'd believe you with a basic, robust white Rioja. Chablis is a lovely drink, very buttery, a little bit like Chardonnay, is it? But a white Burgundy, but I quite like that butteriness. Is there a butteriness in this? No, a bit more acidic, but I like the butteriness of a good Chablis, but it's beyond my pocket, really. Can't afford to buy that. I drink it too quick. Not sure when the weather's going to change. Certainly the wind was up today and it's been much colder, but of course when you're busy that's good. How are you all? I'm just trying to think if there's any questions that I need to answer. Somebody asked if I said Mass daily. No, I don't. I know that daily Mass is allowed. And I know that saying Holy Mass on one's own is allowed. But I don't. High days and holidays. I could say Mass every day if I wished. In fact, I think in the past I did. But in this particular circumstance, it'd be quite pointless. It might be different once the chapel's all set up. But we're not really set up for daily Mass here. Did anybody else say anything? A very kind fellow has offered me some Land Rover parts that he doesn't need anymore. What else? Can't think, because there's so many nice comments. Nice fellow in America. When I refer to Lisa as my clerk of works, he always refers to his wife as head man. What was it? It's head management, something like senior management. I think it was an American that said that. From Ohio. Incredible when you think about it, isn't it? As I'm speaking now, there are people in France, America, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Ireland. Nice fellow in Ireland. I think he's called Brendan. Hello, Brendan. Hope you're all right. Are people frightening you into a state of grace over there? Or has that all ended? But no, it's remarkable. And I'm very appreciative of my wee congregation. Because we're a right bunch of misfits, aren't we, frankly? Led by a misfit. But you know, there is a place. It says in the scripture, in my Father's house there are many mansions. Which is another word, Old English for room, really. So there's room for you. Don't worry if you're a bit of a maverick or a misfit. In the economy of God's salvation, there's room for you. Don't let them grind you down. And I think I'll just leave it there. Not least because I've got nothing else to say. Not that I can think of. As I sit here in my crumbling palace. On the side of my hill. Enjoying my pipe, my white rioja, and the end of a fruitful week. So friends, enjoy your weekend. I mean, lovely to chime in with you again. All's well here. I'm feeling okay, and I hope you're okay. Let me know if you're not. I will pray for you. Say something in the comments if you're feeling a bit fed up, or if you're ailing, or even if one of your loved ones is, and I'll mention you during my prayers. And with that, I will love you and leave you. Father John signing out as usual, and God willing, I'll see you tomorrow night. Cheerio.